Welcome to the regular city council meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 6, 2024. Let it be known that 3 of the 5 members of city council are here. The 2 members, my apologies, Councilmember Olvera and Councilmember Espinoza are out of town for work and medical. With that said, I am going to make a request from city manager if there are any changes to the agenda.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, we have some changes to the agenda. First, under consent calendar, item number 5. Under management reports, item number 3, which is the approval of general plan update ad hoc committee. And then under closed session, items 1, 2, and 6, Mayor and Council requesting that these items be moved to the regular meeting of August 20th.
Which ones are those?
Consent calendar, item number 5. Under management report, item number 3. Closed session, items number 1, 2, and 6 to the April 20th meeting.
And I know I'm a little out of order. I just wanted to get that taken care of. With that, I do need a move for approval of agenda as modified.
I'll second.
Your microphone for me one more time. Thank you.
I move.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Proud and a second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Given.
Yes. We are going to get into our Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Alvarado. And I will do the invocation. So if everybody can stand.
Just all stand. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day that you've given us. I thank you for allowing us to be in this place. Help us to continue to have wisdom and guidance in every decision that is made, the conversations that we are having, just to continue to promote your name throughout the city and just the great things that are continuing to happen in the city. We thank you for your time and your presence in your name. Amen. All right. Public comment time. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item included on the agenda or on any matter within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council invited to speak from the podium and address the city council. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is needed for translation. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. At this time, public comment time is open.
Hello, my name is Daniel Berciaga, 242 Walnut Street, Shafter, California. About 10 months ago, I came to a city council meeting and presented the idea of Little League to you guys, something that a project that we wanted to do that I felt would be very beneficial to the community. Today, I come back with our results. These are our All-Stars, boys and girls. We had 9 through 11-year-old All-Stars and 11, 12-year-old All-Stars. Both teams won district champions. They got to move on to Valley. The girls went to Turlock, California. They won a game, and the boys went to Chowchilla. Played a very good tournament there themselves. But it's something we wanted to grow on. We were able to have close to 100 kids sign up. We had 6 teams. We had a minors division, Major League Baseball, and Major League Softball. We went to Greenfield. Greenfield played some games out here. We went to Greenfield and played. We also took our teams out to Buttonwillow for a game, for a day of games. I think it was a very successful season. We, from what I gathered, everybody had a good time. A lot of kids learned. They all had their own individual successes. We had a couple 6 and 7-year-olds sneak in on us, all the way up to 12-year-old. And like I said, we all had a good time. It was a really big, I would say, a community effort. Parents showed up to help out. We had people show up to help us get the field ready. People always asking, how can we help? What do you need help with? Snack bar, uniforms, helping kids, you know, whatever it was. People stepping in to coach. Knowing we needed coaches without us having to go after anybody, they showed up to us. They came, need a coach, I'll coach. And like I said, it was a really strong community effort, and it just shows our results. But yeah, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of how the season went, and we're looking forward to the next season and to continue building the program.
You should be proud of them. You guys should be proud of yourselves too.
Thank
You took an incredible adventure.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you ever think you were going down that road before, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, it was, there were some times where some doubt, but people showed up when we needed them to show up. And that was the thing to keep us going, and the results were really good.
Cool, cool. Well, congratulations, gentlemen and ladies. Very good job. Very good job. Can we take a photo with you guys?
Absolutely. We brought our pennants, our flags that we won. They both state district champions on it. Those will be, the boys will be hanging their flag at Deluxe Barbershop.
Oh, nice.
And then the girls' pennant will be hanging at Small Town Design and Promotion.
You're gonna like gunner carry
I'll make a step on it right now.
it? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, let's do that if you don't mind.
Yeah, we'd love to.
All right.
Go, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's good. Great. Here. All right, rules on which, got it? Okay, okay. Yes, kind of like. Over here on this side. Pete's not here, but we got it.
Yeah.
We gotta go like, what to do?
It's not here, you don't.
It's pretty sad. huh?
Come on, Ken, you can do it.
Okay, let's do.
No, these guys are doing all right.
Yes, you gotta turn to this one. Do right here. And then come this way. Step in, you gotta do like a boom. There you go. Got everybody? Yeah, he would be impressed. Oh, yeah. No, it was just popped in my head right now.
We do that, don't we? Oh, yeah.
Can I get this to you real quick, just so you guys can check it out?
Yeah.
Some of our players. So right here, those are some of the pins that the kids collected. In Little League, it's a pin thing, we swap. So we'll give them a pin in Turlock or Chowchilla, they'll give us their pin. And so they could say, hey, we played somebody from Shafter. Same for us, we play somebody from Chowchilla, Turlock, stuff like that. It's a big deal, especially when you make it to Williamsport. Then you have countries from all over the world where you're trading pins with each other. So that was our, we have a little small pin, but you know, it was just something unique, something different. And these kids, they'll collect these pins and then there'll be memories for them. We did have one kind of question for future plans of what we might look into for that, that part. If there's any chance that we'll get a backstop on that backfield, just because that we're looking at that more as like our minor league field. It'll be a smaller field. It won't be the big 200-foot field, but a smaller field where our minor leaguers could play. Because we got a lot of interest after our season has started. You know, people kind of knew a little bit more about it because we're having to explain to them that it's a league. It's not a tournament team. It's not for elite players. It's for everybody. And so we got a lot more interest in it because we had to show everybody what Little League was, and how it, we could make it, it's a little more about confidence and building the kids up and making them more comfortable on the field. But now we want to get those younger kids that we do have playing. We're looking at growth, a lot of it coming on, and if there's any chance we get a backstop on that backfield, so we could have a minor league field for them.
I'm looking over there at Public Works to see. Yeah, definitely duly noted at that point, and they can at least start looking at that for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Thank you,
Kirschman Field, right? That's
Yes,
what
sir.
we're talking about?
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you,
Very
guys.
Thank you.
So we'll see you all in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, so to the parents in the room, as long as we know about it ahead of time, which we like surprises, they're really fun. But when surprises happen, we don't have anything cool for you guys. So we're get set up in a couple weeks. You guys come back again. We'll actually have all of our what's the word I want to use?
Council?
Well, yeah, all of our council, yes, but our resolutions and certificates for each of you, as well as certificates from our assembly members and congressmen as well. So we'll make sure everybody has that. We just have to know a little bit in advance so we can get everyone situated, okay? Very good. Thank you, everybody, for being here too. That was awesome. All right.
Give him a hand plug.
You know, the last picture I took with you, Daniel, was like quite some time ago, my friend. Yeah, yeah. It was a baseball picture too of all. Yeah, it was a little ways back. It's a little ways back. I'm glad you guys have come this far. All right, with that said, any other public comments? All right. Seeing none, anything online? Yes, ma'am?
We have an email from Ashley Halterman, and it reads, "Hi, my name is Ashley Halterman. I am a family service worker at the Chapter Early Head Start Center. We are located at 459 East Euclid Street. We are next to the Chapter Youth Center and the skate park. I am reaching out to ask if there are any plans for providing parking to the individuals who go to the skate park, as they have been parking in the spaces where the staff and parents park. Our concern is that we have individuals skateboarding or rollerblading in the parking lot or on the sidewalk while parent and staff are walking to their cars. And we have had individuals from the park sitting in the parking lot during operation hours. Our biggest concern is the safety of the children and the family we service. Thank you."
Very good. Something to guys to note as well in that area. You had something to say. It almost looked like, okay, I just wanted to make sure. Very good. Thank you. Any other public comment items? Okay, nothing online. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment time. I'm going to let you all know if you want to stay, you can stay and enjoy all of our craziness tonight, or you can go head out. It's up to you all if you want to stay or go. We got all sorts of fun stuff tonight too, man. It's going to be a good one. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bye.
This is gossip. They ain't the ones that gossip, not us.
I know, but the kids today would say, spill the tea,
Is that
spill the tea. You know what I mean? Spill the tea, so. And all of a sudden, for those in the YouTube land, it has cleared out tremendously tonight. All right, with that said, council announcements and reports. Councilmember Alvarado, please.
You know, I just have to report one item. I just want to say thank you to all the whole community for Stuff the Bus that we had on August 3rd at the Dollar General parking lot. It was very, very successful. It was I didn't actually count everything, but there was a lot of backpacks, there was a lot of school supplies, a lot of crayons, a lot of markers, and I think this has been the most that we've collected on a Saturday. Normally we were there to about, I think it got pretty hot, so it was about 11:15 when we started wrapping it up because it got hot, and just almost 3 hours. It was very successful, and it's all because of the community and everybody participating. You all made it successful. And I just want to say on behalf of the Lions and Chapter Resource Center,
I guess that's what it's
the
called.
old,
yeah.
the old Healthy Start.
Yeah, that's what I know it as, yeah.
You know, just want to say thank you very much for making it very successful. And that's all. And then on Friday, we had, First Friday. It was a little smaller. I think it was a little small, layout. I had some folks just say, hey, it's pretty small. I said, I think it's, it was nice. It was nice. It was cozy, you know? Even though it was warm again, it was hot that day too, so. But I think we all had fun there and taking pictures and meeting a lot of folks there, and I think we all had fun. We did tell a lot of folks about Saturday, and we collected some school supplies, the chief and his PD. They all got on the bus, and I think they were about to take off on the bus. So, no, we had a good time on Friday as well. And I want to say thank you to the city of Chapter and for allowing us to be part of First Friday and bringing up Stuff the Bus. So thank you again.
Mayor Pro Tem?
It was short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened really quickly.
Yes, well, I did attend the Cinderella play. I don't know if any of you did, but yeah, it's exciting. And really the same thing with the fellows and the girls that were here today. It's really showing involvement in the community and the parents that are coming together with their kids. Yasmina was there with her 3 boys even at the Cinderella.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it just shows that opportunities are there for us to get involved and bring the kids along and build the spirit in our community. So it was pretty exciting. And let's see, then we had oath of office here. You're gonna have to help me on this name. Our one oath of office was for the Shafter PD officer, Kevin Archuleta. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Chuleta. Anyway, he's a transfer from Santa Maria, yes. So he's already ready to go, and it was fun and exciting to get the chance to meet him. And then we also welcomed a new cadet for the Academy, Alfredo Garcia, who is a Shafter grown young man, and excited for him as well as he was ready to do it. Also, the first Friday, I think the entertainment as you arrive was Angel Jimenez, who comes and helps us out in many cases, and his narration as well as the music that he brings along is fun. And then we also had Rockamole Band, which kind of livens everybody up. I mean, of the ones,
I like it.
and it was a small group, but you know, the ones that come out, they come because they want to be there. And as I was leaving, one of them said, "What's going on over here?" And he didn't live here, but he grew up here. And he's going to watch for our next one in September and see maybe, no, when's the next one?
September.
Yes. And so he might bring his family back. So it's something that'll just grow as we continue to plug along. Stuff the Bus, I have to agree, was really very well done. I've gone many, many years, just like Gilbert's been there very, very many years. And our Rotary group was donated, which we've always done too, as well as a Shafter Women's Club. And it starts the season out, and I think that's important, but it's really kind of reflective again of our community getting involved. And so the feeling was good and the donations were outstanding. So anyway, it was very nice, and I thank you for organizing it. The other one I wanted to mention to you, I attended the current EDC board meeting, and the board meeting entailed a revision or an update for the bylaws, and it was really to clean it up because they really needed to be in tune with the Brown Act, as well as how to form, and more detail is written up in the bylaws, clarifying the process and authorizing the committees. We did elect some new officers, and I couldn't find my list, so I can't tell you who they are right now, but new members as well as the officers. And I believe that's all I have.
For the oath of office, the young man Alfredo is local
Yes.
Shafter. I like
Really
that. Yeah, I love seeing the promotion of our own Shafter folks as they continue to grow through the ranks. So you
He's
keep
pretty
doing that.
excited.
That's it's exciting to see that. He'll need much prayer for 6 months because he's coming back. 6 months, got to get through the academy. He's
He
right
knows
there.
it too, didn't he? We encouraged him.
Yeah, he's definitely excited for it, though. The other First Friday you were talking about, that is September 6th. That is the last First Friday of the year.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Yep.
today.
And that is for all of those who are curious if that is going to be during the football time. It is not. That is the Shafter High School bye week. So yay us. That would be the last one of the year prior to getting into kind of the other events that are going on, like the Christmas parade. And I know you're probably gearing up for that, even though you're like, oh, got to do that again. By the way, you guys do a great job on that. So if you weren't planning on it, you better plan on it because it's a great one. So we're excited for stuff that's going to be coming up. I'm excited for the weather. It's going to be 95 on Monday and dropping. And maybe that was a deterrent on Friday because it was horrendously hot. Outside of that, it's been a fairly busy week. We've had a few meetings here, just trying to get ready for the what do you call it? Is a
Selfish?
no, it's a charcuterie, charute.
Oh, sure.
I'm looking at Steve. What was that called?
Charette.
Charette. Thank you. My Atlanta. Yeah,
Yeah,
that made you
charcuterie
hungry.
is
Yeah.
just mixed up in there.
So just trying to get ready for what the GPA is going to look like and adapting that with commercial growth. So very excited to see where we're headed to. It sounds like we're getting a lot of response on commercial opportunities and people are starting to inquire, which is what we were hoping for. So we have some really good information coming, including the hotel studies with Cosmont. I thought that was a good presentation as well. I wasn't part of the call. I did get the information back and I thought that was very healthy information. So it's busy, folks, and we like busy, and we like to see growth happening in Shafter and continuing the pursuit for our families and community. That's the most important thing. All right, with that, we're going to move into our consent calendar. Tonight on the consent calendar, we now have 14 items. Item number 5 was removed. Let me briefly read through these. Item number 1 is to approve general checks. Number 2 is to approve payroll. Number 3, approve the overtime report. Number 4 was to approve minutes. Once again, number 5 was moved to the 8:20 meeting. Number 6, approve a professional services agreement awarded to JAS Pacific for plan review services not to exceed 100,000. Number 7, approve a professional services agreement awarded to CSG Consultants for plan review services not to exceed 50,000. Number 8, authorize the Public Works Director to award up to 15,000 in purchase of land of trees and other accessories from Site One Landscape Supply. Number 9, accept 1 dedication of easement for public street and utility purposes from Bedart Brothers. Number 10, approve a funding agreement to develop the Shafter Road Safety Action Plan. Number 11, accept bids received for the purchase of 3 3/4 ton utility trucks, reject the top 2 bids due to extended lead times, and authorize the Deputy Public Works Director to award the purchase of 3 utility trucks to Motor City in the amount of $182,856.51. Number 12, approve issuing the request for qualifications and feasibility studies for the operation of the Shafter Aquatic Center in the city's former correctional facility for recreational use. Number 13, authorize the Assistant IT Manager to approve the annual payment of our 3-year small government enterprise agreement in the amount of $38,500. Number 14, adopt Resolution 2981. And lastly, number 15, approve an agreement with RT Lawrence Corporation for Lockbox Services. Questions, comments, or concerns? Otherwise, I need a motion in a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Given.
Yes. I mean, 3 votes kind of moves quickly, I guess. Tonight, we have a few items on our public hearing docket. Item number 1 is the approval of extension of time for tentative track map number 6613. Sir?
Sorry, Mayor and Council, our planning manager, Steve, Else will make the presentation on this. This is not particularly to this item, but oftentimes with regards to tentative maps, we do come before you requesting extension of time, and this is similar to that. So with that, Steve.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and Council, yeah, this is an extension of time request for tentative track map 6613, and I don't have a clicker there. As you can see, that is the location of the map itself. It's the south east corner of Birch Street, if Birch Street was to extend further south, and East Los Angeles Avenue. Go ahead and go to the next slide. This is what the tract looks like, and it consists of 36 single-family residential lots with lot sizes ranging from 13,000 square feet to 25,000 square feet. So they are estate-sized lots, and their existing zoning is estate. Go ahead and go to the next one. The map was originally approved for a 2-year period effective in 2007. It remained active due to multiple state legislature extensions of times, and there was 1 discretionary extension from the city council previously. The map would expire July 17th. Since we put it in the queue through Planning Commission, that sort of tolls it for you to be able to approve the map. Title 16 in the subdivision map act allows for the map to be extended actually once more by council approval if we were to approve this one. And so the applicant is requesting a 2-year extension of time to apply for and record the final map to make legal parcels. Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So our recommendation is to conduct a public hearing and adopt Resolution 2979, approving a 2-year extension of time per Government Code 66452.6 E for tentative track map 6613 to expire on July 17th, 2026, and subject to the conditions of approval approved on July 17th, 2007. And with that, I'm here to entertain any questions you may have.
Okay, with that, this is a public hearing, and we are going to open up for public hearing on the approval of extension of time for tentative track map number 6613. Okay. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Council, questions, comments, or concerns? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion in a second, please.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prout, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Given.
Yes. Okay, we are going to move into our Public hearing item number 2, the adoption of resolution of intention to establish proposed community facilities district number 0813. I guess I should also note that there are 4 items attached to that, which is the adoption of resolution 2982, 2983, 2984, and conduct a first reading of ordinance 758. Sir?
Sorry, Mayor and Council, do not be surprised by this matter. This is a CFD that is similar to the LLMD that we've previously established in other subdivisions. We're just changing the structure from a lighting, landscaping, and maintenance district to a community facilities district. So as required by law, we're establishing the public hearing to formally adopt that and establish that. And our Deputy Public Works Director of Capital Projects, Alex Gonzalez, will make the presentation. Alex?
Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council, you should have received an updated version of the CFD report. The update contains some additional language that needed to be included from the consultants. The content is included in red font for reference, and it's located on page 2 and Exhibit B1. In addition to that, the boundary map was also included as part of the report. The additional language is immaterial and does not affect this evening's proceedings at all. So with that, track 7244, also known as Marcona Preserve, that's located on 7th Standard between the Friant Kern Canal and the Callaway Canals, was conditioned to create a maintenance district to fund operations and maintenance of certain public improvements within the tract. Some of those improvements include parks, landscaping, medians, streetlights, water use, and different things like that, walls. And so these improvements, as city manager said, are proposed to be maintained through a community facilities district, or CFD, which is very similar to the lighting and landscape maintenance district that we've done for multiple developments throughout the city. And so on June 18th, the city council approved a resolution declaring the intention to form a CFD 0813 and set the public hearing on the formation for tonight's meeting. The city clerk and the property owner have consented to hold the election on this date today. So Lennar is the developer for the property. They're proposing to construct 395 residential homes. The estimated cost for operating and maintaining the included public improvements is approximately $221,000, which results in a per lot rate of about $559 per lot per year. And so this cost is subject to change per year in accordance with the CPI increases, but not to exceed 4%, which is consistent with our LLMDs. That's the same standard we have for LLMDs. And so the action, or the requested action for tonight, is to conduct the public hearing on the formation of the CFD. And following the public hearing, absent of a majority protest, conduct a special landowner election on the propositions of levying a special tax and setting an appropriation limit, and to conduct the first reading of ordinance 758 by title only. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that council might have, or I'll turn it over to the mayor to hold the public hearing.
Yes, sir. To be clear, we were given an updated report for the district number 0813. It is made available for anyone who wishes to seek one within the city clerk's office. You can reach them via email, have a phone call, or there are copies that are available here. So I do want to make that clear that that is available. With that said, we are going to go ahead and open up for a public hearing. Bear with us for a moment because there's a few things that we have to walk through on this one, so bear with us. This is the time and place for a public hearing for consideration of the formation of Community Facilities District number 0813 and the levy of special taxes therein. Madam Clerk, has notice of this hearing been given in accordance with the Mello-Roos Act?
Yes, notice of public hearing was given according to the Mello-Roos Act.
Very good. The public hearing is now officially opened and we will hear any comments, questions, or protests. Have any written protests been received?
No written protests have been received.
Okay, is there any other person wishing to speak on this matter? Okay. With that said, are there any questions from City Council?
I do have a question. I was just wondering about Gossamer Grove, in the area that this is we're referring to. How are they getting notified, or are they knowing that this is happening?
It's a very good question. The question is this relevant to Gossamer Grove being notified? Will you clarify, please?
Yes, so this development is not the Gossamer Grove development. That's a separate lighting and landscape district development. This one is a completely new one that's being formed for that development between the canals. So it's
So
not
there's
Gossamer.
nothing there, there's no one to protest. Right.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, there's one line.
Oh, okay, all right.
So let me say this, because it was a question I had, and I did ask Alex this question, so I think it would be wise to ask again. So there is a cost associated with doing this, right? And the Lighting and Landscape District has the same concept. It's a cost for the residents in that area. Will you talk about the difference between what the LLMD has been doing and what this is doing? I don't want people to be surprised that there's a huge cost increase or it lowers it down, and why didn't I get a rebate back, right? Will you just kind of share that?
Yeah, so both of them essentially function for the same purpose in this sense of maintaining landscape and lighting improvements and parks and things like that within the development. It helps for the city to maintain the really ornate landscape and nice parks that they have. Really, the difference between the two is the CFD is just a little easier on the administrative portion when it comes to annual assessments of it. It's not a three-step process like LLMD. CFD does have more flexibility in what it can encompass, but for the purposes of this, it encompasses the same items as what the LLMD at Gossamer Grove would encompass.
And the cost of the resident is relatively the same cost, correct?
Yes, in this district, for the Gossamer Grove district for next year, it's roughly $470, $474 per year. That just depends on, as the number of homes increase comparative to the improvements, that number does go up and down because it is a relative cost shared amongst each home. So every home pays the same amount. So as the homes increase and not, more parks, then the cost for improvements, per home goes down. So that will drop, and it can drop significantly over the years, but there is a cap that it can increase more than 4%.
How much did you say it was for Marcona? 5, what?
559.
Yeah, 559.
So is that equivalent to Muller roof? Is that what we're referring to? That could be,
It's the
Something like that.
process through it, yeah.
yeah. And the cap, what was the cap on that particular one? You
So
said
currently
5%,
it's,
4?
huh?
You said 4%? You said 4?
Yes, so it is a 4% increase cap.
Okay, so what does that mean? Just,
So next year, if we were to increase the rates, and we can't just increase them, they have to be increased because there is an increase either in cost or additional improvements, or as CPI inflation increases, then we can justify that, yes, there's an increase, and the cost next year can't be more than 4% higher than what it is now.
so the way to, if I had a house there myself, and
Mhm.
I'm trying to not pay so much in that portion, the more houses, the better, or the more houses, the higher it may go?
No, so as the district grows, if they were to for example, add homes, now it would be essentially the same cost, assuming they don't increase the landscaping or add another park. You'd have the same amount of improvements spread over more homes, which would result in a lower cost.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
To give you, by way of example, Councilman Alvarado, Mayor and Council, there's what's called a engineer's report that we would do both for LLMD and for the CFD. And the engineer's report takes, as our Deputy Public Works Director is explaining, takes the total costs associated with the landscaping parks on and so forth. And it basically just takes that total amount and divides it by the number of homes out there.
Mhm.
So to his point, the more homes we have built out there, the lower cost is to individual homes. The cost overall could increase if they build more parks or the expenses go up, or whatever the case may be. But that's why the engineer's report takes all that into consideration. So it's not a fixed assessment for the duration of however long people live there. That is adjusted based on the actual costs associated with maintaining the parks and the landscape area. The 4% is to be able to keep up with the inflationary factor, CIC, Consumer Price Index, or whatever that may be. And we cap it at the 4%. So that way it's not 10% or 15%, but it's just a modest percent on an annual basis to keep up with that growing cost that we realize as part of maintaining, just like we do other areas in the city.
I was just pondering the thought, if I had a house there, and in order to get a good handle on this and not to pay more on my mortgage or pay more taxes, if I was a homeowner there, then I probably would say, well, I don't want I don't want no more parks. I think we have enough parks, right? Less park, less, you get less parks, less maintenance, less cost.
Less
Um,
quality of service too, though. Or I'm sorry, less
Well, no,
quality,
amenities.
quality of life. Yeah.
Yeah,
amenities.
If you continue adding more parks and playgrounds, that just means this is gonna continue going higher.
Well, it could, depends on how many homes they add in addition to the park. Like
Yeah.
Lennar has stayed pretty consistent over, the last 5 years, even though they built a bunch of more parks and stuff, just because in addition to the park, they build more homes. So typically the additional homes offset the cost for the new parks and the new improvements. If they were to build a significant amount of new public improvements, like a brand new park and, 5 homes, then yes, that would have a significant impact on the cost per home.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the rate that is given is based on what they perceive as the final build out. Correct? How many homes versus how many parks? So really, the rate should never change unless there's some type of crazy, interest rate hike that we're into inflation as a whole, and that's a 4% cap. So theoretically, the cost shouldn't go up and it shouldn't go down because it's based on a build out of X amount of homes with X amount of amenities within that facility.
That, but your specific plan.
Yeah, that microphone.
Not only that, but the specific plan has a certain number of homes and a certain amount of acreage of park that you've already approved. And if they were to change the number of homes to densify or to increase the number of park spaces that would fall under a CFD, we would have to bring that back as a specific plan amendment for your approval. So right now, that's pretty consistent. It's not going to change because you've already pre-approved how many homes, the size of the lots, how many parks, the acreage. In fact, you've even, in a very general way, have already approved the land use plan. That's what those maps are in those specific plan reports that we have that have been approved, over time. And then we've also revised over time. But every time there's a revision, we bring it forward to the planning commission and then the council for approval. So you'll never be caught, no one will ever be caught with sort of a price that we weren't anticipating.
No, I appreciate that. I just want the people to know that this is happening. I know a lot of people come in to buy a house, they deal with the realtor or whoever's selling their house. They don't really pay attention to the fine print, that there's no cap to this, to the I'm gonna call it I'm not sure if that's a proper term, but the Melrose, there's no cap to it. And that just adds to your monthly payment at the end of the year, or I'm not sure if it's monthly or end of the year, but.
Property taxes.
Mhm.
It's all included in your property taxes.
So I just want them to know, so, but that's all. Thank you.
Very good. Council, any other questions?
No?
All right, with that, Madam Clerk, has a report regarding the public services to be provided for and within the CFD been received?
We have received a copy of such report, and the report is made a part of the record of this public hearing.
Are there any persons registered to vote within the boundaries of the proposed CFD?
The County of Kern Registrar of Voters has certified that there are no registered voters within the territory of the proposed CFD.
Have the owners of all taxable property and community facilities district number 0813 consented to holding the special election on August 6, 2024, immediately following the public hearing?
Yes, all owners have consented to holding the public hearing immediately following this, holding the election, immediately following this public hearing.
Madam Clerk, do you concur that the special election may be held on August 6, 2024, immediately following this public hearing?
Yes, the special election may be held immediately following this public hearing.
Okay, at that time, we will now close the public hearing. Okay. So there is consideration and adoption of the following resolutions in the following order. Do you want to read those? Or do you want me to read those? Okay. We will now consider resolution number 2982, a resolution approving the formation of the CFD, authorizing the levy of the special tax therein, and establishing an appropriations limit for the CFD. And number 2, resolution number 2983, a resolution calling a special election for the CFD. Do I have a motion to approve resolutions number 2982 and 2983?
I so move.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. All right.
At this time, I'm going to ask the city clerk to open the ballot and announce the results of the election.
The official ballot has been reviewed and all votes are in favor of the ballot measures and all propositions pass.
Very good. Let us now consider resolution number 2984, resolution declaring the results of the election. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2984?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second? Thank you. Motion by Councilmember Alvarado, second by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. And lastly, the introduction and reading of ordinance number 758. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, second by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. Very good, folks. That is public hearing item number 2. Thank you very much. All right, with that said, there are no other items on the public hearing docket for the evening. We will move into management reports. Management report item number 1 is the approval of the Fourth Amendment of the City Manager Employment Agreement with Gabriel A. I like the A, Gabriel A. Gonzalez. And for the record, the current city manager is going to step out, and we are going to leave this in the hands of our city attorney, who is working through the pages as we speak. Bear with us for one moment.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you're aware, the city manager's current employment agreement expires in March of 2025. A few months ago, the city manager announced that he intends to retire at the conclusion of the agreement's term, but was willing to consider an earlier retirement date to allow the council to begin the process of recruiting and selecting a new city manager to replace him. In anticipation of that recruitment, the city council requested that city manager's contract be amended to authorize a buyout provision to compensate Mr. Gonzalez's accommodation to the city council, because otherwise it could have been construed as a violation of his contract. And so what we did is we've prepared a buyout amendment to his current contract. It would be similar to the existing severance provisions that apply if the city manager is terminated involuntarily. But that's not the situation that we have here. We wanted to have a more positive option for the city manager and the council to consider. And so that's what we have done. Before you tonight is an amendment to the city manager's contract that provides that the city manager would have the option of announcing a fixed effective date for early retirement from service prior to the expiration date of the agreement that would allow the city to search for a replacement city manager. And so that provision would basically be triggered upon the city manager making his announcement of retirement from service, and then the city council then hiring a new person. As you know, the city council is currently conducting that process, so we are well underway there. And so the buyout provision just makes it easier to complete that process in a way that thanks the city manager for his service and thanks him for allowing that accommodation to the city.
That's all?
That's all.
I just wanted to make sure, council, any questions, comments, or concerns?
Nope.
Okay. With that said, I need a motion in a second, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Sorry, still trying to spell. I have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. Okay, very good. Anybody want to go get him real quick before we run crazy without a?
And by the way, just for the record, the city manager had to step out because the buyout amendment to his contract, he would have a financial interest in, so we made sure he was in the room.
Very understandable.
Okay, item number 2, welcome back, is to request to convert one part-time position of an administrative assistant to a full-time position to staff City Hall Extension at Gossamer Grove. Sir.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, as you know, we are in design phase for a new substation over at Gossamer Grove. Part of that layout also includes a library annex that we will be also establishing a smaller library service out there, a community room, and city hall services. So what we're proposing is at City Hall is a one-stop shop, in which obviously we're not going to be able to staff it like we do here with each individual department, but the concept is here, what we're proposing is to have one individual staff these city hall services. They would be able to provide in services related to city hall services, city services. They'll be working and providing assistance on the law enforcement side with police, not necessarily doing records or dispatch or anything like that, but just walk up traffic, people wanting to get general information. Mainly because the PD won't be able to staff 24/7 the substation immediately. It'll be a phased in approach based on staffing capacity and whatnot once we get services going. So this position would basically staff the entire facility. They would be assigned to the city hall area. And what we envision is that once we open the center and people know it's there and they show up and all the doors are closed and we have a sign that says, call this number for services. I think ideally most people are going to get frustrated with, how come I come here and there's nobody here? How come I have to call a number and so forth? Why did you build it and you don't staff it, right? All those complaints. And so we're being proactive in that sense. The reason we're asking to have the position now is because there has to be some cross training that needs to take place. Right now, we have a staff member who's been assisting us both in city services here at City Hall. And the idea is to take that person, convert it to a full-time position and provide them the training. So they would spend some time at finance, mainly over at PD, to better understand some of the general questions that people may be coming into, and get them trained up over the course of the next 5 or 6 months. We anticipate the new substation and that complex will be constructed Q1 of 2025, not definitely by Q2 of, that's quarter of 2025. And that way this gives us a long runway to be able to cross-train the person, to be able to also learn public works with right-of-way permits, park reservations. We now have the parks out there as well that people are going to, we do a lot of our services online with parks, but again, general questions that people may have and whatnot. So we're requesting to basically take a part-time position right now, convert it to a full-time position that would be able to staff the Gossamer Grove Civic Center complex, if you will. So I'm available for any questions that you may have related to that.
Okay, council questions, comments, or concerns? If hearing none, otherwise I'm looking for a motion in a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
What do you mean? I'll second it.
Well, you,
No, I'm gonna delay it.
I'm good with anything you want at this point. All right, I have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Proud. I guess I shouldn't have told her that, huh? You don't get anything you want. It doesn't work that easily. I have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Proud. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Givens.
Yes. Before you know it, I'm going to be doing gardening work for Mayor Pro Tem over here, so I gotta be careful what I say too quickly.
Gardening work?
Well, I don't know if I said anything, so that could be really dangerous. Item number 3 is being moved to August 20th. Item number 4 is to award a professional services agreement to Place Works, Inc. for a not to exceed amount of $134,508 to conduct a design charrette, develop marketing material, and provide a summary and strategy of next steps for the Lerdo Highway Corridor. Sir.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, our planning manager will make the presentation, but however, way of background, the city council has had some lengthy discussion during our strategic plan workshop implementation workshop that we had several months back earlier in the year. One of the goals that council discussed, and that there was a sense of urgency given the economic development efforts that we've been undertaking here for the last year and a half, is putting a master plan together for the Laredo corridor. As you, as it's well known, the seventh standard corridor, which consists of the wonderful industrial park as well as Gossamer Grove, Marcona. You approved some changes tonight related to that. That's sort of already planned out for build out. What the city council envisions is the Laredo corridor from Highway 99 into what we refer to as the core city, the central city, for future development related to commercial, industrial, housing, mixed use. And so what this exercise would allow us to do is to begin some discussion with the primary property owners along that corridor. We have had interest from Wonderful, from the Sills and others like that that are interested in further developing their property into commercial areas. I know that Mentor Field has also expressed an interest. We own property along 99 and Laredo for what we've had interest for future possible hotels, sit-down restaurants and whatnot. The city has been very aggressive here of late with the economic development efforts to attract national brands. And so this would allow us to master plan that corridor and get input from property owners. So with that, by way of background, I just wanted to give you that so you knew that this was not a new topic that's coming before you. You've had several discussions on that. I will now defer to our planning manager, Steve, who can talk more about the scope of work that's proposed. Steve.
Honorable Mayor and Council, I think he's pretty much said most of it already. So, yeah, really, it's a professional service agreement to conduct what's called a charrette. It's basically a visioning exercise where you bring in a group of people, in this case, city staff, members of the council, as well as property owners that are along the Laredo corridor, to kind of dream about how they think that area is going to develop in the next, 10, 20, 30 years. And with the, once we do that process, which we're envisioning being a 2-day process, about 2 to 3 hours each day for 6 total hours. From the results of that discussion with those individuals, there would then be a map designed, kind of giving a vision of where we would like to go with that corridor, and as well as provide some other materials that can then be leveraged at the upcoming ICSC conference in September. Then subsequent to the conference, there would be sort of a final report that would give a summary, suggestions, constraints, opportunities, and next steps. Another thing that's very good with this is that it dovetails very well with the ongoing general plan update, because this is an important corridor in the city. Then the general plan would sort of would formalize land use designations and policies, utilizing the information that is presented and provided as part of this charrette process. And so with that, it is staff's recommendation to approve the professional services agreement with PlaceWorks, and then we will begin in earnest to set up those meetings. And in fact, I've already kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and I've already started reaching out to property owners and letting them know when our tentative schedule is and that sort of thing. So I think we're moving very quickly to accomplish that for the council. And with that, if you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
Mayor, really quick, Mayor and Council, one other comment to make is that there is a sense of urgency to begin this work because we are planning to attend ICSC in September. And ideally, we like to have at least a conceptual map identifying the different zoning and land use for that corridor. So when we're talking to developers and brokers and franchisees, is to be able to identify land along that corridor. So that conference is taking place at the end of September. So the consultant understands that urgency. And so we are looking to have a conceptual map of that area to be able to share when we're at ICSC.
Steve, you almost sound as excited as I am about it.
That's neat stuff. That's what makes planning fun, is this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
That's not conditions of approval and reviewing those over and over again. It's this kind of stuff that's really exciting.
Laredo Highway is a blank piece of paper, and you've got the 96 color crown set ready to go. And that's really what we're looking at here, is because there's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of connection to major thoroughfares. And there's a lot of very, very, very willing property owners and businesses who want to connect into that realm. So I think it's a great choice to go down that road. Council, questions, comments, or concerns?
I had a question. Did I miss how many people you needed for this charrette and how were we approving them or getting them?
Well, there would be the Economic Development Ad Hoc would sort of be the council, and then I've identified adjacent property owners. That are along the corridor, roughly from Golds Avenue all the way to SR 99, because you kind of west of Golds, we're developed.
Right.
So I looked through that corridor, wrote down the names of the various property owners. Some are, couched in LLCs, and I've been sort of doing some detective work, trying to find an actual contact person, that's behind the LLC to invite them. Like Wonderful. I said they were interested. Sill has said they're interested. Minterfield has said they're interested. And I've got some feelers out on a few others, and I'm hoping I'll get a response back. But that's how we're picking the group. It'll be staff, 2 council members, and then property owners along the corridor.
I think this is good for Minter. I think they need, I'm glad you guys are reaching out to them. I think it's really important for them. So it's really good for Minter.
Yeah, Jonathan Hudson, the director there, he was excited to hear us
He's been
reach out to him.
He's
Yeah.
been asking
yeah.
to be involved.
And in fact, a number of property owners are like, wow, this is great, because we've been actually thinking about this internally. And so now we were going to come talk to you, and now we can just all talk together. So they're real excited about it.
Love it. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
No, I just remember us having a study at the police department talking about that, and I think that came up, Lerdo had come up on that topic, and I think we all got pumped up and hyped up, and now it's good to see something's happening, so. Good.
Yeah, I moved the motion.
I have I gotta wait for my second. I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second, sir?
Second.
There's only 2 of us. Yeah, it's gotta be together here, That's how this works. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Proud, a second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Gibbon.
Yes. Okay, let me put that in. Very good. Item number 5 is the discussed design for the Shafter Library and Learning Center Chess Garden Project. Sir?
So Mayor and Council, as you know, we've been doing some investment over at our Learning Center with murals, Learning Center and library, with murals and outdoor amenities for our patrons, and that work continues. And so this evening, our Community Services Director, David Franz, will make a presentation as that work continues with the next project. So, David?
Apologies. Honorable Mayor, members of the Shafter City Council, this item is brought before you for discussion and design feedback. This is a project that's the Shafter Library and Learning Center Chess Garden Project, which is funded by the Community Development Block Grant. It's been before you several times over the last few years, and we're pleased to have Tim Smith of Winsmith Architects, who's going to present some drawings for you to respond to. So I'm going to go ahead and welcome Tim up to the podium.
Well, hello, Tim.
Hello, honorary mayor and city council members. Just one little correction that happens a lot. It's Winsmith Landscape Architects, not Winsmith Architects. We deal with the land. Can you hear me through this?
Yes, sir.
You probably hear this a lot, but from lots of people presenting designs, but I was so excited to have the opportunity to work on this project with David, because as soon as he said a whimsical chess garden, that's any designer's dream to hear those words, because it means you can have some fun. Not that we don't have fun on other projects, but this one is particularly fun. It's not necessarily a large project, but that doesn't really matter. By the way, do I have a mouse, or do I have to ask you to move forward? Oh, okay, all right. So when he said we wanted to have a whimsical chess garden, I thought, well, okay, what's that mean? And obviously it's to foster curiosity. It's something that should look interesting. It should be something that feels interesting, be comfortable, and cause people to want to go outside. He also gave us the requirements from the grant, which are 3 concrete chess tables, 3 benches, some fencing, a decorative gate, and 6 large planters and landscaping. So we took all that and we started thinking, well, what does a whimsical, by the way, oh, okay, oh, thanks. So what might we want to see in a whimsical garden or chess garden? So these are some inspirational images. And to me, a whimsical space has things that you don't expect. Things that promote excitement and curiosity, like I said. So starting with the first picture, a door out in the middle of nowhere, a door that's not connected to walls. How are we going to use that? I don't know yet. Well, actually I do now, but I didn't at the time. You can see the images of the chess. It said 6 chess tables, which we have proposed 2, and then 1 on the ground, as shown in the top picture. The next picture to the right is, it may be hard to tell from here, but that's a mirror. A mirror kind of in an odd place in the landscape. I can imagine kids enjoying coming across that and seeing themselves, especially if it's not a perfect mirror, if it's one of those funny mirrors.
Now, adults do too.
Big part?
Adults do too.
I thought I was the only one.
No.
So, okay,
that's
good.
whimsical. Yeah.
Good. And then the picture of the bicycle, the old bicycle with planters on there.
Took it away.
Beg pardon?
Nothing.
I said I had an old bike and my son took it away.
Well, I was counting on your bike.
I know, I could have too.
It was a shoo-in too.
Yeah,
Oh, that would have been the best.
yeah, that's
But
right.
maybe we can find somebody in the community that has an old bike.
Yes.
And then we also thought, as we're thinking about the design, because it's a learning center, how can we get the community involved in this? So we thought, well, what if, like the picture of the things that look like snails that are painted different colors? Maybe we can start to see those things throughout the landscape. And those are painted by the children and adults who want to do that. The adults that like to see themselves in funny mirrors. You'll see a mirror ball there. You see another chess table. On the bottom left, you see some funny looking mushrooms of different colors. Those can be purchased, or that could be another learning center project. The gate next to those funny looking mushrooms. Again, that's kind of a wall that's not connected to anything. But that's the gate to enter into this magical garden space. The next picture is hanging seating. So we're not proposing all of the seating to be that way, but our goal was that every place where one sits, it should be comfortable enough that you want to be there for a couple of hours reading, or just staring off into Never Land. And then, of course, we have to have some shade. So how do we incorporate all of that into this garden? Well, if we start at the left, I'm going to start out by saying that we went a little bit beyond the boundaries that we were asked to address. At the top left corner, is this a dead point? Okay. May I just step over here to point to something?
Move your mic towards him, David. Yeah, you can do that. Just move your mic towards him so that the public can actually hear what you're saying.
But this is a new shade structure, a gazebo that you've just put in. And it's in the middle of asphalt and concrete. You know, the concrete's been painted nicely recently. But we thought, well, why don't we just extend this garden space out into it? You have some raised planters that are great, but it's harder to keep that type of landscape thriving just because of all the heat. So if we can put planting around there on the sides, it will be healthier for them, and it puts that new gazebo that you just put into the landscape instead of sitting on the pavement.
For reference, we're talking about item number 1 for the existing gazebo and item number 25, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so our entry gate is here. And if you've seen these images before, this presentation, I think we have some 3D images that will show a lot of this. But as you enter in, after you've passed the bicycle that catches your curiosity, well, what's next? We have a seating area here with added shade. We have the new seating area underneath an existing shade tree with synthetic turf to give a different texture, a different feeling from other spaces. Two people and this meandering path that brings you to the more concentrated chess area. We have a shade structure, it's really more of a cantilever umbrella, this large yellow square, and then different places to sit and play chess. The chess table, well, not that, the chess space can either be concrete that's painted with the squares, or it can be a roll-up material that could be taken in so that you could use that space for some other event, which David and I discussed. How can we use this for more opportunities or more activities than just chess? And then we have a space to hold all the chess pieces up against the wall there. And people would go into the library, provide some sort of identification that they would leave with somebody working in the library to get the chess pieces. And then to get their ID back, they have to show that they've not stolen any chess pieces. And then moving on, we have some more seating areas here. These two, they might be, this is in the bottom right corner, for those who can't see me here. This could be where we have the hanging seats, where you just kind of nestle in there and hang out for a couple of hours. And then in this space here, that's where we might have that door that pops up out of nowhere. And you open it up and you come into this private space or very private seating area. Defining this space is this serpentine wall. Again, we could have just put a straight wall there, but we thought that the serpentine wall added a certain amount of playfulness, both on the inside and the outside. And it connects to the existing wall that separates you from the fire station. And then throughout, we have those colorful little playthings that I talked about in the inspirational images. So with that, let me go on to some of the 3D images. So this is, we're not showing it here, but I'm probably standing underneath the new gazebo. And so we're proposing a new fence, some new entryway here, and that bicycle on the left. It won't look that new. And so as you enter in on the left, you see the child looking at herself. Actually, that's an older person. Looks like a child. That was a joke, Mayor Pro Tem.
That's all right.
And just behind her is the first stop seating area in the synthetic turf. And we're proposing synthetic turf so that it's not something you have to maintain or water. And looking back at that, and you can see the mirror ball that adds a little bit of excitement. And we're also proposing that tall white wall that is not quite as tall as the building itself. Right now, there's an existing chain link fence with slats in an angular form, and it's hiding and screening mechanical equipment. So we thought, if we can, let's take that out and put in a curved wall that blends in with the whole project. So underneath the cantilevered umbrella, you can see the chess board. It's 8 feet by 8 feet, with each square being 12 inches. And you can see on the right, a cubby place to put the chess pieces and plenty of shaded seating. Again, looking back at the fire truck leaving the station. And then at the upper corner, you can see somebody really enjoying those comfy cocoon seats or chairs. And we start to see that door that pops up out of nowhere. There it is. And inside there is another little private space. And then just outside, if you were in a drone looking down a little bit, you can see how the serpentine wall works with the space. Again. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions, take any comments.
Okay, council, any questions, comments, or concerns?
No wonder you had fun.
Beg pardon?
No wonder you had fun.
Oh, this was fun, or is fun.
The,
Well-
sorry.
If you spend much time over at the Library Learning Center, you see that the ones that do come have fun, so.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that, right now, let me, how do I, let me go back. So just underneath the cantilevered umbrella, on the building wall, there are floor to ceiling glass windows. There are no doors there. And we were thinking that one day it might be nice to have a door in the middle. And so we have access from inside going through there. We've planned for that. You don't necessarily have to do it right away. But if you think you will, then we will plan for that for grading purposes to meet ADA requirements. But it could be a really nice way to get out into the garden instead of having to go out and enter from the side.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Yeah,
How's the money holding out?
How's the money?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it compares.
I mean, like the budget?
Yes.
We looked at the budget the best we can. We think we're pretty close. There are some things that, you know, I was telling David, if it comes in over budget, then we will look for ways to, things that we have to take out. But we don't really have a lot of excess
Yeah.
thing in there. So what we've done is not necessarily expensive in itself. There might be, maybe we tone down the entry gate, or maybe we tone down, maybe we have one mirror instead of two, and we can look for little things like that too. And also we can take out the landscape that's around the new gazebo. But I'd rather, because prices are changing all the time, I would rather find out that we have to take something out than find out that we could have done something more.
Well, I just wondered because it seems like so detailed. I drive by there and I see that space and I wonder how it's going to materialize before even seeing any of these pictures. And so I just wondered how it's all going to fit in there. So that's all right.
We're gonna find a way.
We want a nice thing. We want it nice, so.
Sir?
That chess board, the big one,
Yeah,
do you have checkers as well, or just for chess only?
well, it's a whimsical chess garden. No,
Oh, that's okay.
no reason why you couldn't get
Yeah.
chess pieces.
It's just I don't know how to play chess. I know how to play checkers. you know,
Yeah.
So not everybody likes to go play basketball either, right?
Yeah, right, right.
So,
No, I think that that's certainly something that could be purchased.
okay. And then the other question is, for the weather, as you go, as you know, Kern County goes from one extreme to the other extreme. There's no spring and there's no fall.
Right.
So it goes from hot to extreme cold. So what you got, is it durable and is it gonna last the extreme heat and the extreme cold?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We've actually used a couple, the chess tables, we've actually used them at Gossamer Grove already. Actually used them at Train Park, and they're still looking good. Some of the furniture that we'd be using here, we've already been using out in the weather. We know it's durable. You can see the cantilevered umbrella is 20 feet by 20 feet, so it gives quite a bit of shade, so it'll protect a lot of that in the center part. We're taking advantage of the existing trees, the two existing trees in that space. We have seating areas underneath those. So there are some areas that will always be exposed to the sun, but we've done the best we can to consider the elements.
Any other- okay. Hearing no other questions, I am looking for a motion in a second, please.
I'll move.
Second.
Well, I guess it's a design feedback. You don't need that, do you? So we're good? Okay, well, that means we're happy. You got an approval to say we're happy. So how there you go.
We're happy.
Happy. Happy, happy, happy.
You can play the song, happy, happy.
Thank you very much. Item number 6 is the approval of the cooperative agreement to complete design, utility relocations, and right-of-way acquisition for a roundabout intersection at 7th Standard Road and State Route 43. Sir?
Certainly, Mayor and Council, between myself and our Deputy Public Works Director, Alex Gonzalez, we're going to tag team this matter. As you have heard, there is a planned roundabout at the intersection of Highway 43 and 7 Standard. This is what's proposed as a cooperative agreement for that roundabout for right-of-way and utility service relocation. For the past several months, there's been considerable interest and momentum with that roundabout project at the intersection. And already, as you know, the city has been working and designing the widening of 7th Standard on 7th Standard between Galpin and Highway 43. And we've been working with Caltrans for that project because as we get closer to 43, it gets into the Caltrans jurisdiction. About a year and a half ago, Kerncog, working through Congressman Valadeo's office, secured, I believe, about $5 million for that roundabout project. At the time, the executive director, Aaron, with Kerncog, reached out to the jurisdictions that this roundabout would be affected by, the city of Bakersfield, Shafter, County of Kern. Inquiring as to if there would be an opportunity for us to work together so that no one agency or jurisdiction would be responsible for the construction of that roundabout. It's my understanding that there may have been some discussions at the COG level, not only at the TAC, but maybe even at the board level. I know Mayor Pro Tem, you sit on the board. And so earlier this year, we had some meetings with the different jurisdictions that Kerncog led, trying to find a way to see if we can move this forward at the local level versus having Caltrans do that. At that meeting, it was discussed with Caltrans what they would be able to do or not do and what the local jurisdictions would do. What's involved is full design, right-of-way acquisition, utility relocation, and then ultimately construction. The pre-construction work is valued at $4.5 million. And it's believed that about $15 million could be accessible in federal earmarks that are being pursued through our local congressional representatives. To put the construction funding in the best position possible for approval, the staffs from the county, cities of Bakersfield and Shafter agree that the pre-construction work would be led locally. In other words, get the project shovel ready. As you know, from prior experience, either at the state level or federal level, having a project shovel ready always seems to be more attractive when we're seeking federal funding or state funding. It was further agreed that the three agencies would participate equally in the funding of that pre-construction work. That 4.5 would be split equally, approximately 1.5 for each of the jurisdictions, which is the county, Shafter, and Bakersfield. Shafter would assume the lead role with design, which would closely resemble to what is leading on with the 7th Standard widening. So because we're already doing the widening project, us taking lead on the design for the roundabout, we would be able to ensure that our project with the roundabout project would align. The county would assume the lead role for the right-of-way acquisition and utility relocations. And the city of Bakersfield would be solely more of a funding project and still be active working with both the city of Shafter and Kern County. To ensure that the pre-construction work is completed and to help Shafter maintain its funding source balances for road projects, Wonderful Company has also committed to be a participant and also willing to front the city's cost for that. We would then reimburse Wonderful through the TIF, the traffic impact fees, because that project for the roundabout is within the TIF. And so because it is eligible for the TIF, we would be able to do a future reimbursement agreement with Wonderful for that portion they're putting up front on behalf of the city. That's one way for us to be able to move the project forward. It's also worth noting that the city engineer did release a request for proposals for consulting engineers to provide the design work. An award recommendation will be brought before council at a later date, provided the cooperative agreement tonight is approved. Future council approval will also include budget action to enable the design work to proceed. And it should be noted that cooperative agreement has already been approved by the city of Bakersfield and the county. And tonight's recommendation is for council to approve Shafter's project commitment to the roundabout in this throughway cooperative agreement with Shafter, Bakersfield, and Kern County. And we're both, Alex and I are available on the technical. Obviously, Alex can answer any questions related to the widening or the design for the roundabout. And so, any questions, let us know.
What are they anticipating time-wise?
For,
You guys are talking right-of-way acquisition through the county, right? So county's the one doing right-of-way acquisition?
correct.
So what are they talking time-wise to even get that started? This is just engineering to look at before we even start about talk about right-of-way?
Yeah, so we've been talking concurrently to get both of them going. They've already, looking at the property owners there, assessing the situation. There is some preliminary work that's already kind of been done as far as potential right-of-way that would be needed. So that's kind of happening concurrently. I think, as the discussions have been on, we're looking at, had like a target of a 2-year timeline to try to get us into a shovel-ready process.
Because ultimately, we own no property out there. This
That
is
is correct.
all county, right? And city of Bakersfield doesn't own property out there either, but, or am I missing something?
Well, I don't know how much, of the land that we need, I don't know that the county owns any of it. I think it's all private landowners at the intersection.
Let me say that correctly. Jurisdiction is
Oh,
county.
Yes.
That we have no jurisdiction out there, and I don't believe the city of Bakersfield has jurisdiction out there. It's all jurisdiction under the county. Is this correct?
Yes.
And it should be noted, the city of Bakersfield does have an interest because they have that planned development just across the street from Wonderful that it calls out for future industrial uses. I'm trying to think of the property owner, Alex.
Ranch, something ranch.
Rosedale Ranch.
Thank you.
Rosedale Ranch. So there is an impact to them, and that's why they're participating in that runabout, because as a future traffic mitigation measure would entail some improvements to that intersection, being that they already have some planned development right across the street from Wonderful, which would be a large-scale project for warehousing, I believe is what they have planned.
And we care about it because this is future impact on our traffic as well. Is that what I'm understanding?
With Wonderful truck traffic for the existing project, and also they have planned expansion of the 1,800 acres. So when they do their traffic study for the 1800s, there's going to be some level of mitigation with improvements along 7th Standard. In the past, we've been asked about traffic studies and mitigating measures related to the existing part on the off-ramp for 99 and 7th Standard. Caltrans in the past has said, hey, has there been an updated traffic study related to that? So this is an anticipation of future growth.
No, from what I understand too, there's a benefit for us all to be together to really push the project forward. As I mentioned before, even, it's most important that we all work on it together, which will even include more from the federal government. So, yeah, I'm glad to see this come forward like it has.
So I got a question, so, I was a little confused there, but the roundabout is at the bottom of the bridge? Is that what we're talking about? Or-
Right at the intersection of 43 and 7th Standard. There's a Chevron and a Shell gas station there now.
We call it Enos Lane, right? It's way out
Oh,
there.
okay.
Way out there, man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's not way out there.
Yeah, it is.
Uh,
But I mean, I don't even go that way.
well, it's beyond Rio Bravo School.
You do? You
Yeah.
come from that way? Oh, because you take the 5 in, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanna know, I mean, if we help them, they help us with ours right here on Beach right away, or, I mean, the roundabout?
Unfortunately, it's the county we're dealing with here. It's
Yeah.
not even Caltrans. Caltrans isn't even a
Caltrans,
willing party on this. They're just a design party. This is all county area.
According- yeah, you just have
I
to go
guess-
by their guidelines.
Yeah,
I
so
guess when
what's our investment? Is it a lot?
Well, it's for future, sure. Yeah.
No, we should be at a $0 investment.
And it's 1.5 our share, of which Wonderful will advance, and then we would enter into a reimbursement agreement through the TIF, the traffic impact fee, for them to get a credit of future TIF payment back to them. The project itself is within our TIF, our traffic impact master plan. So any project that's in there is eligible for reimbursement from the TIF back to the developer that makes those improvements.
Yeah, so the benefit would be if Wonderful continues to going, will be south? As they go on 7th Standard, is that
West.
west? Okay. I think where city limit goes right a lot past, close to that Chevron gas station, right? Wonderful city limits?
No.
No?
No, we are city limits, Alex.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's like halfway, right? We own,
Shafter, is it Shaft Avenue?
it's a property of that wonderful orchards are right there.
I think it's
Sorry?
Cherry. I'm pretty sure it's
Cherry?
Cherry.
Okay.
But I can, is it Cherry? Okay, so
Cherry
our
and
city
Seventh
limits
Standard.
extend to Cherry.
In Seventh Standard.
Yes.
So there's no more potential, us continue going towards Chevron?
Yeah, annex?
No, that's not the
Yes.
Yeah.
problem. My question is
No.
Cherry,
I mean, it
ultimately.
doesn't preclude the city from attempting to annex, right, of the
It-
It
property.
it just
Okay.
makes it more
Cherry,
worth
so-
our investment. I'm just trying to
Right,
make
the
our dollar
overpass in Santa Fe with
purpose,
high
real
speed
purpose.
rails.
I mean, I just
That
thought.
beach.
So where does that tie in? So my question then becomes, is where does that tie into Cherry, which I'm glad you brought Cherry up, right? If,
Thank you.
if globally the city of Bakersfield and city of Shafter care about Cherry, right? The quote unquote, let me get my bearings right, North Park Beltway? Am I saying that right?
Mhm.
If Cherry exists, why do we care about a roundabout? And I'm not discrediting the need for a roundabout, right? Caltrans loves their roundabouts. But if Cherry exists to ease the traffic, right, traffic mitigation for heavy duty trucks, so what is the purpose of the roundabout when it's all said and done? Right? Because help me understand, just everyone just help me understand. Cherry will cross over 7 Standard. It will go all the way until it gets to the West Park Beltway, give or take, and that's I-5, right? So Cherry doesn't care about 7 Standard. 7 Standard cares about Cherry because they're gonna want to use that to get on and off. So help me understand what the necessity of the roundabout is, let's say 5, 10 years from now, 10 years from now,
It's the safety of moving traffic.
for today.
It's.
But is that for tomorrow? That's the only reason I'm asking the question, because Cherry is going north and south. Right? So I was just trying to understand it.
Yeah, so the Cherry alignment that's kind of been discussed, the major item for that is to move, truck traffic. So the 43 intersection there will still remain for vehicular traffic going in and out of town likely. The other idea too is that Cherry south of 7th Standard, it's still being figured out. That's not, there's no set plan for that. So while there's discussions of how do we get that going, there's no guarantee that that gets built or gets constructed south of 7th Standard, specifically because that's out of our jurisdiction too. I mean,
So it
Cherry
could
north.
die into 7 Standard at this point. Based on our
There is-
jurisdiction, Cherry could go to the 6th lane from 99, die into 7 Standard, and then the roundabout's still necessary.
There's always that possibility just because we don't know what's going to occur outside of our jurisdiction south of it. Now, everybody, we have cargo meetings that we've had discussion on and different things, and there is an vested interest from, all the parties to continue Cherry South and to find a connection for the trucks to move from 7th Standard to I-5. And that's really what the goal is here. And, the roundabout will facilitate in the short term, the trucks doing that. And the benefit to us too is that they're no longer needing to go down 7th Standard out to 99 to go to I-5, which the amount of traffic we have on 7th Standard already, the wear and tear in there is significant. So
Yeah, I can agree with that. Okay, you answered my questions. I know it's a lot of
I think
information
the
to throw.
process though is way ahead of us already, right? So when I say, we had say no now, I mean, it's not gonna, it's just, it'd be crazy to say no. But because the investment's we're already invested in too much of this already.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been, like I said, earlier this year, discussions that Kern brought together all the jurisdictions and Caltrans in the county, and everyone stepped up to kind of, so it wouldn't fall all in one jurisdiction. And this was the kind of the best manner in which to be able to move forward without putting the burden on any one jurisdiction.
I mean, again, 1 point something million into something that quite don't know yet too much about for the future. Where I could see right now where we really need is right here on Beach and 43. That's that we need that now.
But it's moving. It's
We
moving
need that
too.
next year, last year.
Yeah, and on that one, that project's moving forward. Caltrans is probably 90, almost 100% complete with design plans. What's holding it up is the discussions with high-speed rail as to whether or not Los Angeles is going to remain open or not. Caltrans would have finalized, plans and specs and probably be out to bid. As you know, the city did award a right-of-way, a contract with the right-of-way agent per Caltrans requirements to begin the right-of-way acquisition, and they're moving forward with the appraisals and identifying those property owners. And design is near 100%. Like I said, what's holding it up is the discussions we've been having with High Speed Rail as to whether or not there'll be the feasibility to keep Los Angeles open. At some point, though, there might be the decision as to it's not going to happen in order for that roundabout to get built. But that's what's holding it up. But otherwise, it's still moving forward.
And we asked for that change anyway, because
Exactly.
trying to keep that open for a beach.
Mhm.
I'm ready for a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to move that we approve this.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Your
And-
turn.
and no was fine as well. Either one was fine. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prada, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes,
and Givens.
Yes. Item number 7 is the approval of high-speed project plan check services reimbursement agreement, sir.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, as you know, speaking of high-speed rail,
Yeah.
so just for clarification, this action tonight in no way supports the high-speed rail is in its entirety. This is specifically related to staff time being reimbursed for plan check reviews. As you may be aware, high-speed rail has been awarded $200 million in design and the construction of six grade separations along the high-speed rail route in Shafter. So as you probably have seen, some of the contractors doing some boring along the railroad tracks. And so we anticipate that here in the near future, there will be submittal of hundreds, if not thousands of sheets related to the plans, construction plans. We do have a settlement agreement with High Speed Rail that does stipulate that we would do plan check review, not plan check, but we would review their plans and whatnot. So this reimbursement agreement allows us to get reimbursed for our staff time up to the amount of $700,000. That's the cap for everything that's involved. So again, this reimbursement agreement has been reviewed by the city attorney's office, provided comment, made any changes as needed. And as I said, it in no way pledges support on behalf of the city for our overall project. It simply allows us to get reimbursed for those staff costs associated with it. So
Questions, comments, concerns?
whenever there are more costs involved, we'll just have it come before us again.
we'd look to amend that reimbursement agreement to accommodate those future costs. Yes.
Also move.
Second.
approval.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prada, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes,
and Givens.
Yes. Number 8, approval of the Shafter Police Department participation in National Night Out event hosted by the Shafter Lions Club, sir.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, I'm going to have our acting chief of police, Randy Mulligan, make the presentation. This is a community project that will bring a lot of activity to our community in a positive light. So with that, chief.
Honorable Mayor, members of City Council, National Night Out is a yearly event that is a community building campaign to enhance the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement. The police department has hosted a National Night Out several years ago, which was found to be successful with several in attendance. This year, the local Shafter Lions Club would like to host the event on October 8th at Mantle Park. Several outlying agencies have already committed to attending this event. Our city labor cost would be $746. The police department is asking for council approval to partnership with the Lions Club and participate in this event. With that said, I can answer any questions.
Questions, comments, concerns?
how do we promote this so that we have a huge turnout? Maybe that's a question for Lion.
I think it's just by the nature, and the chief could put more light to this. There's gonna be, just on the same page as the chief here, we got agencies of Delano, I think Wasco, Shafter, McFarland, Delane, County Sheriff, Probation, Highway Patrol. And once you get commitment from bomb squads and everything, you make a poster and you give them to the schools. Just believe me, they'll come. And I'm afraid that's gonna be thousands coming. Just because when it has to do with police, it's just like a magnet. And plus, And when you start mentioning all these agencies and all these people that are coming, believe me, they're gonna come. And we may be
Bless you.
over exceeding our park limit of people. And then you get them to the schools and the schools don't promote it, so they're gonna come.
Yeah, because when we had it before, we didn't have huge turnout, but we're planning it
Yeah,
different. That's
well,
what I was
it
trying to
just,
get.
it just, you know,
Okay.
the thought was that you have a small agency, small town, you don't have a lot of toys, and people like to see toys. Well, now you bring in all these different agencies with all these different toys, like I said, all these different agencies, with their toys, people are gonna come. You might even put a sign out there, don't come, not just kidding.
I hope
Just
you have some food vendors, man.
Well, you know, Chief and I are gonna still talk. We haven't got the fine details yet. I think, I'm not sure when we're gonna talk, but we're gonna talk soon. But, yes, because, it's gonna be awesome.
People like Karen and Miguel with Karen's Aguas would love to participate and be a part of that. So you got a lot of community folks who want to jump on board. So you got some friends there.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's good. So I'll move the approval.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Prout, second by Councilmember Alvarado. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado?
Yes.
Prout?
Yes.
And Gibbon?
Yes. All right. Look at there, folks. We're right there. Number 9. And lastly, approval of general fund budget amendment in the amount of $700,000 to allocate appropriations for the recent AB 33 Fentanyl Prevention Task Force grant. Sir.
So, Mayor and Council, this is a budget amendment to the fiscal year 2024 budget. The big reason being that it's a budget amendment is because we are increasing appropriations via the $700,000 grant that we received. And then also on the expenditure side, we'll be proposing to expend the $700,000 related to the task force. I'm now going to defer to our acting chief to provide additional background in how we propose to spend the monies related to the budget amendment. So with that, Chief.
Honorable Mayor, members of City Council, at the June 4th City Council meeting, Council approved an agreement with the County of Kern to secure $700,000 in funding for the AB 33 Fentanyl Prevention Task Force. The County Council has approved the Police Department's proposal that covers 4 categories in labor cost, training and equipment, education and outreach, and operating expenditures. The proposed expenditure plan presented to Council this evening aligns with the current County Council agreement. And our labor costs are coming in at 61.1% at $428,000. That's gonna entail a 2 fiscal year community service officer. And our overtime rates for enforcement for regular officers and our evidence technician. Training and equipment will cover an undercover vehicle, 2 drones, 2 e-bikes, TrueNarc special drug testing equipment, and personnel training at 25.3% at $177,000. And our education and outreach, departmental supplies and community outreach at 5.7% of $40,000. Operating expenditures will cover fuel, vehicle repairs, drone software, equipment maintenance, and other O&M expenses. The amounts are projections and may be adjusted as needed during the project's 18-month implementation phase. The police department is asking for council's approval for the general budget amendment in the amount of $700,000 to allocate appropriations for the task force grant.
Okay. Questions, comments, or concerns, Council?
So this was actually a grant from the county through Dr. Jasmine Baines, right? And then
Yes,
in our
through the
fund-
AB 33.
Right, so now we get it from our general, or in our account to put it into the police account? Is that how, something like that?
So correct, came through the count, from the state through the county. The county is the one responsible for appropriating to or allocating to the different agency that were awarded the grant funding. And so we have an agreement with the county for the 700,000. We will now take the 700,000, put it into our coffers, into our budget, and we'll use that money to pay for all these expenses. So the city is not fronting that money. We're not using our monies. This is all grant money that is being passed through from the state through the county to us. And so therefore we're technically not technically, but we are increasing our general fund appropriations budget. But obviously the 700,000 is offsetting that. But because you at a policy level approve the appropriations for the city through the budget process is why we're bringing this matter before you. But it's no impact to the general fund. It's all the 700,000 that we're getting through the grant, through Assemblymember Baines.
Okay, questions, comments, concerns?
I think what the chief has planned, he shared with us his plan. I think it was a good plan and I think, you know, it is an issue. Fentanyl is an issue. It's very concerning. And I think, this is good. This is good. So, yes, I'll make the motion.
Hear that motion, ma'am?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, second by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
and Gibbon.
Yes. With that, we are done, officially done with the management report items for the evening. We will move into our city manager comments and reports as well as our director comments and reports. Sir.
Just as Mayor Council, we sent you a list of items that are coming up for events. Please respond to those accordingly and otherwise no other updates at this time. Thank
Oh,
you, Mayor Council.
wow, fantastic. Tonight we will move into closed session, quick brief recess. We have 3 items, not 6, 3 items on closed session. I remember item 1, 2, and 6 have been postponed. Items number 3, the public employee appointment title city manager. Item number 4 is the conference with labor negotiators title city manager candidate. And item number 5, conference with labor negotiators for unrepresented employee title city manager. I need a motion and a second to move into recess, please.
Make that motion.
All right.
Second.
All right. All those in favor with aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed. Hearing none. Hey, we're in recess. All right. We are back from closed session, which I like these fast closed sessions, folks. We are back from closed session and I'm going to look to our city attorney to lead us out, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. As you mentioned, City Council recessed into closed session. All members were present except for Councilmember Olivera and Espinosa, who were absent tonight. There were only two items on the agenda. The third item that was left, conference with labor negotiator concerning the existing city manager, was not discussed. However, the other two items, public employee appointment and conference with labor negotiators concerning the city manager candidate, was discussed. City Council provided direction, and we have no reportable action.
Okay, with that being said, nothing left on the docket. Need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Alvarado, second by Mayor Pro Tem Prout. All those in favor at leaving at 8:02 PM with aye,
Aye.
Aye.
same sign opposed. Hearing none, we are adjourned